I think the central core of the book is really a love story. And the characters, Shannon, 17 years old, and Clay, a young lieutenant in the Marine Corps. Their meeting and their lives together. Um, and I think that there's a little bit of a half dozen different characters involved that that the book moves because of those two pretty remarkable people. They're not perfect. They have their flaws, but in time it's all transcendent. And their relationship is really the core of the book. They both grow. They both learn, as all of us do, about one another during a long relationship. I was married in during the war, and I have to confess that my wife, I met when she was, I think, 19 instead of 17. There's a lot of, she was a remarkable woman, a beautiful one, and I think that that presence, a woman who had will and who had judgment and who who reached out to others and was beautiful. And then the Marine lieutenant reminds me of, I wrote about, I'm a retired colonel in the Marine Corps, but I was once a second lieutenant, and I don't, I think there's some characteristics that Clay, the second lieutenant, who becomes a lieutenant, obviously comes from all the Marines I knew over all those years. It's not me, it's a lot of Marines. But Marines may be courageous in combat, but they make mistakes when they're human beings, human mistakes. And they have their failures and they have their triumphs. And I tried to make an amalgam of some of the characters that I've known in the Marine Corps, from privates to generals. And I think I'm proud of Clay as a true human being as well as a Marine. And I think that there's a vibrancy in the character that is palpable. At the same time, our heroine has many of the characteristics that drew me when I was 19 years old and she was 19. 3 months after I had first met her, I was just crazy in love. And that never changed over many, many years. So all the characters. I don't mean that I'm Clay and my wife was Shannon. There are many characteristics that are different and attitudes that are different, but the centrality of the relationship, how they relate to one another, and their natures are quite familiar to me. Their growth as people, their ability to reach out, the temptations that they face, the dangers that they face, the general jeopardy of life in those years, particularly when it comes to the history of Palm Springs, where they come with hope, with a vision of what is going to be there when they get there. And it's absolutely destroyed in the moment of their arrival. And then their ability to adjust and to grow with Palm Springs. They've been told they're going to find this beautiful home and these magnificent agricultural advantages to the community and a vibrant community. And it's all turns out to be a lie. There is that moment of realization that the life they envisioned is not there. And so part of the story is how they adjust the facts to the reality. They look around and this home that they expected to be waiting for them is a hovel. The land which they thought was being enriched every day is totally barren. The effects of the great drought in Palm Springs become a fact of everyday life. Just to have water to drink, much less to cook and to keep their lives together, faced with something that was totally away from what they were told was there. And the story is really the strength of character that it takes to face that kind of deprivation, that kind of hardship, and triumph over it.